kind of run ads for a little bit to pay the bills, really. It's a bit of money. Like, it's not a massive amount. Okay, there we go. The ads seem to be over. So yeah, I can't remember what clan my character is, what clan I picked, but from what I remember of the story, my character was embraced, and we're kind of like my character was kind of learning the ropes about vampire society, and I think I'm running around now trying to find my sire and confront them? Maybe? I don't know. It's a thing. Oh, I'm in night 4. Okay. Wait, hold on. Choose a slaves. Load game. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. I almost completely destroyed my stuff. Opening the letter, it's clear it's been sent by someone incredibly old-fashioned, rich, or a fan of classic stationery. No normal person sends letters like this. The note is short, terse, written in elegant, delicate handwriting. You're cordially invited to a rendezvous at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. I'll be waiting to make your acquaintance tomorrow night. Look for me closer to God. What does that mean? I think it may mean that we're dealing with La Sombra. There is no other information. It looks like you have a mysterious invitation for the following night. Oh, crap. You guys can't see that. Let me readjust this ever so slightly. I'm just going to move myself over here for the moment. So there's like this little thing over here. It's not clicking on that. Okay, so there's this thing over here. Can I show my cursor now? There we go. I don't know if this means that it's close to, or it just started being near sunup. I think this means it's close to the end of the night. So, I'm gonna rest. No. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what it means. Okay. I almost went outside and got baked. I'm going to move myself back now. Go, okay. Who am I going to go visit? Let's go with Sophie's mention of a vampire clan of blood sorcerers sparked your attention. One of them, Agathon, could potentially be your introduction to the bizarre powers of the Tremere. Let's go pay a visit to the Tremere. One quick thing though, Stephen Webb, you mentioned the World of Nightmares here on Twitch. Is that like a channel, or is that like a game that's on? Like, if it's a vampire game, sure, I'll check it out. I check out as many of the stuff, the things that I can on Twitch, like the different Hyrule Gardener, the Tremere. Nothing bad can happen with the Tremere. Yeah. That's why they're always known as the fine, upstanding citizens of the vampire community. You arrive at the address given to you by Sophie, a small bookstore smack dab in the middle of Broadway, of all places. What really catches you off guard, though, is the store's display. What you heard about the Tremere, they're infamous to their ties with the occult and the mystical. And yet now, looking at this oddball collection of items in the display window, it all feels borderline satirical. The books here cover everything from Ayurvedic practices and homeopathy to wellness and self-motivation. The vaguely amusing juxtapositions don't end there either. You notice a copy of Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible tucked behind a cheap, smiling Buddha. It's funny that they describe it kind of like this, because basically this is like pretty much every occult bookshop I've seen or been to in like everywhere that I've lived. Like, this describes like easily all the ones that I've seen in Toronto, like on Bloor Street in the annex. Oh, whoa. Thank you, Anonymous, for that $50 donation. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. All right. That blew me away. I wasn't really expecting a $50 donation. All right, back to the grind of the Tremere. Scientific Journal of Hematology sits next to a teen-oriented pamphlet on the blood type personality theory. A number of religious and quasi-religious symbols, lockets, pins, and various emblazoned paraphernalia are haphazardly strewn across the display between the tomes. Before you even open the door, you can smell the burning incense. This is exactly like every occult bookshop I've ever been in. And you hear the corny Far East tinged music seeping through the cracked speaker mounted above the entrance. It's much more quaint than what you expected from what Sophie told you about the so-called warlocks. It doesn't look like they have much interest in impressing outsiders. Then again, if there's anything you've learned these past few nights, it's that appearances can be deceiving. And how? Dark Elf Twilight, did my 1,000 bits go through? I did not see anything for bits. Let me check on that. Because there's like sometimes the notifications don't go up on there, sometimes they do. No, I'm not seeing anything. I don't think it did. But anyway, welcome, Dark Elf Twilight. Yeah, even on the stream manager itself. Oh, there we go. Thank you for the bits. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are trying to raise money for the BC SPCA because we recently had a pet pass away in our household. Yeah, and we're trying to do as much good as we can for all the other puppies and kitties out there to help them out. Yeah, it's just want to help out as much as we can, right? Because we're not really suffering too much for money. Like we took a bit of a financial hit, but we can survive that. But we want to help out as many people as we can with the time that we've got. So we're trying to do that. Oh, wow. But thank you so much for the bits. That is always appreciated. We will get back to the game here in just a sec. All right, I am apparently going to pay a visit to them Tremere types. Again, if there's anything these... Meltman of GP, thank you for showing up and coming in. Nice to be able to catch one of your streams again. Thank you so much. We're kind of lean over the last month or so. Like we're having a bit of some mild pre-production delays, but we are getting a bunch of stuff out. We've got the adjacent crew. We're working on an Outcasts game with them. It's basically like I wanted to run a game of like kind of like Thin Bloods and Caitiff and kind of some of the like lower end bloodlines and such. So that's going to be coming up pretty soon. We've already filmed one of those episodes. We're going to be filming another one this Wednesday, and then probably maybe 3 or 4 episodes of that'll be coming out really, really soon. We have let's see what else. There is a game, a vampire game, like another short series that's being run by an awesome storyteller, Petra Skelton. She's running a game that is kind of linked to a one-shot that we did for Questline. I don't know if you've seen that, but they are awesome peeps over there. I'm gonna give them a shout out in the chat. And they were playing Gartic Phone. I have no idea what that is. That seems like a fun game, I suppose. Let's see what we can see. All right. So yeah, what I was telling everybody. So Questline. Meltman of GP. Sounds fun. Sounds like a solid base for a story to be built off of. It is, yeah. That, from what I'm seeing of the game that Petra's running, it is super fun. It's kind of along the same lines of what we did with that one shot, because that one shot, unbeknownst to me, there was a pretty friggin' awesome twist at the end that I did not see coming as a player or somebody who's been running like World of Darkness stuff for like 20 years now. Like I didn't even see that twist end coming. And she's basically got some stuff in store. She's kind of let me know here and there, but I think she wants it to be kind of a surprise even for me. But yeah, it's looking great, and that's going to be coming out soon too. And then we have our D&D game should be coming back soon. I have to touch base with Sarah on that. But yeah, it should be coming back soon. Follow all of our YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and stuff like that for details. When I've got them, I will share with everybody else. And then we have a new Vancouver by Night coming soon. Meltman of GP. I'll look forward to it. Will do. Thank you. It's always appreciated. Actually, let me just throw that up in the chat. Oh, not that one. This one. All of our socials are in the link tree, which I think is actually the wrong link tree now. I think, yeah, okay. And let me readjust that. First of all, let me figure some stuff out. I think I switched it to Van City by Night. Yes. Okay. I will readjust that. That is the wrong link. Do not use that one. Mostly don't use that one because it won't go anywhere. Like, let's be honest. Let's see if this one is the new one. Ooh. That should be the one that works. That is the one that works. There we go. But yeah, if you can, help us spread the word of the fundraiser that we've got going on for the BC SPCA. We are trying to raise some money for all the good little kitties and the puppies and the pets of various descriptions and such, to make sure that all of them are taken care of. All right, back to the Tremere. Finally. At this time of night, the shop appears to be closed. Regardless, you ring the bell. You hear someone shuffling around inside. A brief moment later, the latch slides and the door is pushed open just a few inches. A tired-looking blonde in loose clothes appears at the crack. She seems confused, like you just woke her up. She lets out a yawn, scratching at her tattooed neck. Finally, she squints in your general direction. Her pierced lip curves into an awkward smile. Ooh. Okay. You guys can't read that. I just realized that. When there's something like that, I will readjust myself because I'm doing it on the fly. Bam, I'm up in the upper right corner now. So, what do you all think I should put in there? Should I go as Agathon in? I'm here for cult advice, or got anything on vampires? I will go with whatever you guys decide. Because that's part of the fun. Vampire Queen 29, welcome on in. We got one vote so far for the occult. And 2 for the occult. Okay, since there's only 4 people in here, I'm going to go with that's the majority. And the BTM, I love that Jasper gif. That's great. All right, so occult. Hi, I'm here about a mystical problem. I need some occult advice, you could say. The girl gives you a suspicious look, but opens the door. She takes a few steps back, and you hear footsteps coming from behind the floral curtain that covers the back door. A bespectacled, smart-looking woman emerges and looks straight at you. Oh, shit. This is where Storyteller Steve's knowledge of LA by night and New York by night comes in, because that's Aisling Sturbridge, the Tremere Regent of New York. Also seen in New York by night. Come in and follow me. Just don't touch anything, please. You follow her through the store. Inside, as expected, the stuffy air smells of sandalwood, frankincense, and a dozen other aromas. Well, isn't that just fun? Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing over here. There we go. The woman leads you behind the curtain and through the back door, onto a rickety staircase. Vampire Queen 29. I watched LA by Night and New York by Night Season 1. I think there's 2 seasons of New York by Night. I think so, because they were doing something that was, in general, I would argue most actual plays don't do. They're trying to like kind of look at 2 different coteries at the same time. The Camarilla on one side, the Anarchs on the other. I think they did Anarch first and then Cam. But either way, I think so you've only watched the first season. I just want to get clarification on that because I don't want to spoil anything. Because I think Aisling Sturbridge was in the 2nd season, I want to say. So the woman leads you behind the curtain and through the back door onto a rickety staircase. Flight of steps takes you up to the 2nd story. You instantly notice a change in decor as the tacky New Age bookstore gives way to something resembling a cross between a library and a workshop. Yes, season 1 and season 3 is when they combine both coteries. Yeah, sorry, I burped there, my bad. Yeah, I don't know, I think the way the 2 coteries are kind of going, I think basically at the end of season 3, there's gonna be some switched alliances going on there. That's the feeling that I'm getting from it, because some of them seem to be leaning in one direction when they're like Cam or Anarch. They seem to be leaning towards the other one that they're not. And there's at least like one of them per coterie that seems to be like kind of leaning in the opposite direction from where the rest of the coterie seems to want to go. Between a library and a workshop. The smell here is strong too, but much more layered. You're not sure what to make of it at first, but with each whiff, it becomes apparent. It's blood. Ray and Braun. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, to be honest, actually, here's another kind of idea that I had. Like, there's already Coteries of New York, and there's Shadows of New York. So, like, you've already got the stuff in place. Like, all you would have to do is get the actors and actresses in question to basically go, hey, you know what? Why not? Let's do it. And then you could do, like, a New York, like a Coteries of New York type thing. Like a New York or Coteries of New York by Night, and then you could basically have them do different poses, and then you could create like a visual novel with like all the actors and actresses that are involved in New York by Night, right? Like, how cool would that be? That'd be some cross promotional stuff. And then everybody could like play the game, really. So Aisling is doing some blood experimentation. The aroma, though subtle at first, soon becomes overpowering. It takes you a moment to adapt and focus. Aisling Sturbridge. Currently playing through Swansong. How is Swansong? I haven't actually had a chance to play it yet. Actually, I'm fairly sure I don't even own it. Let me check. I think I might have gotten it. I've got Night Road, Out for Blood, Parliament of Knives. Yeah, Swansong is the one that just came out recently, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't have that one yet, because most of the ones I got were from the Humble Bundle, which was like, I think, $20, and you got all these like awesome games for Vampire the Masquerade, which I honestly haven't had a chance to really sit down and play as many of them as I should have. That's right, it's on PS4. So it's good? Alright. I will check it out. I don't think you know who you're speaking with, so an introduction is in order. My name is Aisling Sturbridge. I am the High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs. You are Amanda, correct? I have to say you're lucky the ward outside the building is only there for notifications tonight. Otherwise, it would have been quite unpleasant. The ward? So that occult device line was cute, but unless you have something important, and I do mean important, to relay, I'm afraid I don't have a lot of time to spare. So then why are you even here? Dark Elf Twilight. I played a vampire LARP once. Not the official one. I played a Malkavian. It was a Camarilla game, but didn't join the Camarilla. Worked for someone who was Camarilla, so I could enter the Elysium, but secretly join the Sabbat. Yeah, that's how a lot of kind of LARPs went back in the day. But if you like LARP, there's one, and the Sabbat, let's be honest, there's one down in Texas that is run by Matt Webb, which I've heard nothing but good things about, where it's basically a Sabbat LARP where you can play like as a mortal at the beginning, and then throughout the course of the night, there's like an out in the woods party type thing, and the Sabbat come in and basically do a mass embrace of everybody, and it becomes like a big, essentially blood cluster fuck thing. I've heard it's like incredible amounts of fun. But yeah, you should definitely check that out. And then there's like other LARPs. There was one in England recently. I think it was the Giovanni Last Supper LARP. And then there was one down in, I think it was another one kind of there's one in the US. I think kind of near New Orleans, I want to say. That was just like a Camarilla, like Elysium type LARP. I've heard good things about that. I should see if I can get one started here in Portland, Oregon. That'd be cool. Yeah, there's like a lot of, I think, don't quote me on this, but Nomad Anarch Scout. That sounds cool. Vampire Queen. Is it an LARP? But to Dark Elf Twilight, can't remember who it was. I can't remember what the company's called. I'm drawing a complete blank right now as to who runs the LARP business in Vampire. Because there's, like, Renegade does the tabletop stuff, but for LARP, it's By Night Studios. And I just remembered. Campaign and your friend is a storyteller. Well, that sounds really cool. But yeah, it's I think there is a LARP already, and like in a kind of not super official, but official to By Night Studios, because they're tracking like where people have LARPs on the go. But there is one, I think, in Portland, Oregon. They just released a map not too long ago. The delivery's here. I'll be lurking while I put away the delivery. Okay, cool. That Dark Elf Twilight. Thanks for coming in and lurking, like, and hanging out. That's, yeah. Everything is appreciated. And thank you once again for the bits, because that was awesome of you. Thank you. Let's just go over here. And to everybody else in the chat, if you can help spread the word and share around the link. So that we can get a bunch of people in here, if at all possible, and raise as much money as we can for the little kitties and the puppies. Let me just double check on something over here. So, let's get back to dealing with Aisling Sturbridge. Ooh, High Regent sounds important. How do you know who I am? Or hiding above the occult bookstore. Really? Really? Which one do you all think I should go with? I'm kind of leaning in the High Regent sounds important type direction. Because honestly, the way that I've been playing this character so far, they're kind of a sarcastic dick. High Regent? Yeah, let's go with that. High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs. That's quite the mouthful. It might sound fancy, but that's because there's a well-established tradition behind it. One you'd be wise not to ridicule. Some might take offense. Me, for one. That was a great choice. What is it that you're here for? Heard you had things about Agathon. I was expecting to find Agathon, and Sophie mentioned Agathon to me. Either way, it's about Agathon, so I'm going to go with expecting to find Agathon, because 3, Sophie mentioned, yeah, alright. Sophie suggested I should meet Agathon. She said he's quite knowledgeable. Did she now? Oh, man. Aisling looks you up and down. Her countenance seemed unchanged. That's the word I was looking for. But you can tell she's judging what you said. That's new. Suddenly a man enters from the side room. He doesn't look at you, lost in his own thoughts. Agathon, what's up, buddy? I have it, Aisling. I think I know how to find it. Oh, okay, he's not talking about me. He catches himself as he notices you. His face turns sour. A visitor? Yes, we're just discussing you, in fact. Is that so? Wow, not that I didn't know it before, but with the Tremere, you can kind of hose down the walls with the sarcasm at this point. Let's see. Sophie Langley recommended you. I'm looking for allies, or let me introduce myself. 3 is right out. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going with 3. Because this character is kind of a sarcastic asshole. So, yeah, there's definitely not going to be number 3 on this particular instance. I'm looking for allies seems a bit too formal, is the term I'll use. Or Sophie Lang, yeah, just gonna go with the first one. Might as well. It's the one that seems the most sarcastic. Yes, Sophie Langley recommended that I contact you about teaming up. Teaming up? Yeah. If I didn't say it the most sarcastically as my character, it definitely elicited, I think, the most sarcastic response. He seems very confused by the notion. What for? I could assist you in your work. No, that doesn't quite work. For the company, what else? I could use your knowledge seems to be the best way. I think I got embraced by a Ventru now that I'm kind of jogging my memory with all this. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be going with the I could use your knowledge. I could use your knowledge. I'm new here, and a scholar like yourself could teach me a lot, I imagine. You're not wrong. He turns to Aisling. High Regent, may I ask your advice on this? She looks you over as if judging your worth. It takes her just long enough to make you feel uncomfortable. It's fair, I suppose. Actually, my child, I would consider giving this one a chance to prove their worth. Oh? She addresses you. Trying to understand why Langley took an interest in you, Amanda. I might have caught a glimpse of her reasoning. I think you may be of aid to Agathon in his current task. Why don't you start by giving our intern here a brief explanation of what it is you're after? Agathon gives Aisling a hesitant look, but the woman nods approvingly. Encouraged, he turns towards you. Exactly, Vampire Queen. Tremere, Ventru, team up time. Member of our clan has disappeared without a trace a handful of nights ago. While the High Regent investigates if any foul play was involved, I have been tasked with recovering her research notes if there's anything left to recover, that is. I may have an idea of where to start looking, and I suppose this is where you come in. Oh, really? If you truly wish to help, I could use your assistance tonight. Right now, in fact. Given the time we've just wasted on idle chatter, I should leave immediately. It's been like 5 minutes, my dude. Like... Quickly now, to the Tremere Mobile. Like, what is going on? What research is this about? Who's the missing person, or what's the rush? What do we think on this one? I think what's the rush should be the response, because that's the most sarcastic asshole term. Sarky asshole? Sarkhole? I don't know. 3? Yeah. What is the rush? Is someone else after the notes? Possibly. A story for another time, perhaps. These people aren't in the habit of making things simple. That is the most what's the term I'm looking for? Like, just the most, like, apt, I would say, description of the Tremere that I've ever seen written down or said. Like, yeah. Facing layers upon layers of secrecy, you can only hope that what lies beneath is the real deal. I'm heading out. Are you coming or not? As much as this character's a sarcastic asshole, I'm always, even when storytelling or like playing games, I'm always kind of I lean more yes and-ish, right? So I think this is the first. This is definitely a number 1 situation. Like, sure, I'll join you. Why not? Sure, I'll join you. Very well. He gives Aisling a slight bow. High Regent, with your permission. And give me 1 sec. I just gotta check something on yonder phone. High Regent, with your permission. She nods, and apparently Aisling Sturbridge completely and utterly disappeared. Oh, there she's back. Okay, cool. Before you go, however, Amanda, defer to Agathon in all things. Our clan values obedience above everything else. Prove that you can follow, and this might turn into a mutually beneficial relationship. I will await his return and his response. Or report. Good luck, my child. Agathon bows again and heads out, urging you to follow. The High Regent watches you leave. Once Agathon leads you to his car, it's an almost funny seeing him get behind the wheel. Somehow you expected a more mystical means of transportation. Maybe it's a magical car. You drive south, heading to the Lower East Side. Agathon seems lost in thought. Either that, or he's a very careful driver. Either way, several minutes pass in silence. Wow, okay. Remain quiet is definitely a choice. That seems to be something that you could basically go, you know what? Hey, fuck you. But I'm thinking, so where are we going is the one that's the most sarcastic. So where are we going? Williamsburg. There's a place there that our missing colleague frequented. He seems to be thinking of the right words before he decides to address you again. Let me ask you something. Why me? There's likely a couple hundred of us kindred in New York, yet you seek me out specifically. Why? Sophie spoke highly of you does not seem to be all that sarcastic. You sounded interesting. Dunno, just gave it a shot. Seems dismissive. So I'm leaning in the you sounded interesting kind of category. What does everybody else think? Three for you? Okay. Yeah, let's give it a shot. No reason, I guess. I had a short list and I came to you on a whim. I see. Once more he grows silent. You're unsure whether to continue prying as your driver seems to disappear in his thoughts. You drive into Williamsburg and stop by a fancy-looking building. We're here. There's a restaurant on the top floor. You wanted to help, so here's your chance. I need you to get us inside the VIP lobby. You recognize the place. It's where you were embraced a few nights back. Funny how this restaurant is apparently a vampire magnet. Once we're in, I need about a half hour of focus and some space. It'll be up to you to keep attention away from the room. Can you do it? He doesn't wait for an answer and points to the front door. Go ahead, I'm right behind you. The two of you take the elevator up to the restaurant. The door opens, and you see there are only a few guests left sitting at their tables. An important-looking staff member approaches you. Good evening. I'm very sorry, but the restaurant is closing for the night. Can you make it? I can make a reservation for next week if you wish. Ooh. My character was embraced by a nomad leader character outside of the campaign. Sounds pretty cool, Vampire Queen. Is it like tabletop that you guys are playing, or is it like a LARP? And how many players are there? For this one, though, I'm thinking we dominate. Tabletop? Okay. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and dominate them. Oh, but we insist you will let us enter the VIP lobby and stay there as long as we like. But of course, please come in. You walk in trying to look casual and make your way toward the VIP lobby. You step inside and close the door behind you. This is a familiar sight, the same place where you had your last meal as a mortal. Strange, you should feel it's something, but lavishly decorated room looks almost plain to you. Your companion looks at you with something akin to admiration, or at least that's how you choose to interpret the slight change in his usual somber facade. Not bad at all. He inspects the room. It's unusually cold, and Agathon soon discovers why. Looking behind the curtain, the window hangs open. The handle of the lock looked like they'd been dissolved, as if with acid. God damn it, Juno. I'm thinking, who's Juno? Because that's the sarcastic. Who's Juno? How about I tell you some other time? Well, no, how about you tell us now? He takes a frantic look around the room. This changes things. Keep an eye on the door. I'll need some time. Half hour at the very least. Nobody disturbs me, understand? He hastily pushes a couch and some potted plants out of the way, moves a bar stool, and takes out a curved knife. Cutting into his own arm, he lets some of his blood drip onto the wooden floor. It's pretty fucked up the way flesh oozes the deep red, thick vitae. In life, you'd have found it stomach turning, but right now you feel weirdly turned on by the sight. What follows is more disturbing yet. With one hand, he sheaths the knife and seals the wound. With the other, he smears the blood around him while muttering some weird chant. It sounds vaguely Latin, but you're pretty sure it isn't. Latin adjacent, really. It's more than a little disconcerting, but he seems to know what he's doing. A few minutes later, the circle starts glowing faintly as thin wisps of smoke surround Agathon. He sits down in the middle, legs crossed, eyes closed. Minutes pass. Agathon's face twitches from time to time. His head turns every now and then, as if he was looking around or listening in on a conversation. The smoke grows thicker, forming a veil around the mage. You expected something more flashy, but it's still a sight to behold. You wonder what the point of it is, but refrain from asking. It's probably best to let Agathon do his thing. For close to 30 minutes, you're left to your own devices. Suddenly, the door swings open and the manager storms in. Ready to raise hell, the initial haze must have worn off quicker than usual. I'm gonna argue with him. That seems like the best, more sarcastic way of doing things. You start a shouting match with the manager. He seems almost happy to oblige. You can tell he's dealt with problematic customers before. You go back and forth for a while until his face becomes red and his voice grows harsh. At some point, he looks just about ready to throw the first punch. That's when Agathon finally gets up off the floor. He shakes his head and casually walks over to the sofa, picking up something from between the cracks in the upholstery. We're done here. Let's go. Who the hell do you think you are? Get out of my restaurant this instant. Not wanting to make the situation any worse, you walk out sheepishly. The manager follows you all the way to the elevator, shouting and cursing. Agathon doesn't seem particularly fazed by any of this. Restaurant staff throw you some curious glances as you walk towards the elevator, but wisely decide not to bother you. The ride down feels tense. You have to expect to see a police car waiting outside. Agathon only seems to relax once you're back in his car. He starts the engine, takes a right at the Continental Army Plaza, back under the bridge towards Manhattan. You're just about to say something, but Agathon beats you to it. That went better than I expected, all things considered. It might have been a trick of the light, but you're pretty sure you just saw a smile. I'm used to working alone, but what I'm dealing with right now, it might require more assistance, and you seem capable enough. Hey, looks like I got an A+. I'm thinking thanks, I guess, is the most sarcastic response. Gee, thanks. I take it your way of showering me with praise. Yeah, that is definitely the most sarcastic response. You could swear you just made him smirk. You did fine. Once you really impress me, I'll be sure to let you know. It doesn't take you long to reach the Warlock's hideout. Agathon waves at you absentmindedly, once again lost in his thoughts, hopelessly so. One of these nights you should probably take him up on his offer. Who knows, if you gain his trust, maybe you can actually break through the stoic facade and meet the man underneath. Okay, so it's about midnight, give or take. So, I'm thinking this would be probably a good time to call this particular stream to a close. You're only going to be on for about an hour or so, yeah, let me see if we can find someone to raid. Old man of GP, thanks for the raid. Oh, thanks for hanging out, chilling. Just gonna see if I can find somebody to raid here. Who was on? Pod by Night is on. They're playing some vampire stuff. Let's pop over to them. Actually, let's see. Yeah, Pod by Night seems like the good response. So thank you all once again for hanging out. Thank you for any bits or donations or whatever. I will put the donate link back in the chat. We'll probably have it up for at least another week or so, give or take, probably a bit more. Who knows? I might hop on again next week and do another quick stream, just to keep the dust off the channel before we get everything out, because we have like 3 games coming up that are all vampire related, and there's a bunch of other stuff that's being worked on as well. So keep an eye out on all of our socials for that. I'll post the socials in there. Or if you want to buy, I don't know, maybe some of our merch or whatever. But yeah, please donate if you can to the fundraiser. And if you can't donate to the fundraiser, just, help spread the word. Grab the link and post it up in, check us out on Twitter and spread around, retweet, stuff like that. But yeah, this is probably Saturdays around this time is 2 p.m. or so is usually probably going to be the regular time that we hop on with all of our actual play stuff once we get a bunch of episodes recorded and set up. So yeah, come on back, give us a follow here, and come on back when we have the vampire stuff ready, because the stuff that we've already recorded so far is absolutely amazing. There's a bunch of really good groups that we've got together that are all playing vampire, and yeah, it's super fun. So, and they will also be uploaded to our YouTube. You can also check out our Patreon, which has a bunch of if you want a bit of a preview, we've got the session zeros, I think, for some of the games already up there. More of the other stuff will be up soon. For the $5 tiers, we're going to have the episodes, a pre-release of the episodes on there about a week early. So yeah, but yeah, please, if you can, donate. If you can't, help spread the word, and we will see you when we see you. I'm just gonna raid out here. Pod by Night. So yeah, thank you once again to everybody for popping in and helping out with the fundraiser and just hanging out in chat, lurking, whatever. I'm not actually seeing the raid thing here, so I don't know if this is going to raid over entirely. We will see. Let me just double check this here. Okay, there it is. So yeah, thank you all for being awesome, and we will see you probably in just a few short weeks for when we start to release all of our vampire actual play content, because that is what we are working on now. There's going to be like 2 of them are short series, but we've got like 3 series in pre-production and production right now, so they're all going to be coming out probably roughly around the same time. So we will see you all next time. Here we go with the raid. Have a good night, everybody.